Good morning, everyone. So to begin, maybe we'll first start talking about Mike Tyson and see if we can go across the street and see if we can win that fight tonight. What do you think?
I'll cheer for Mike.
Cheer for
Definitely,
Mike.
yeah.
I don't know after he slapped Jake Paul in the face in the interview.
But he stepped on his toe.
Stepped on his toe?
Yeah, you should say that.
Is that a foul in Judoka or?
Totally.
So we're going to talk about two different things. First, sports, and then faith. In rabbinic tradition, we say that we go Moridim v'kodesh v'lo Ma'alim v'kodesh v'lo Moridim, that we go up in holiness and not down. And so let's first talk about your sports path. You were not born in Israel. You're not a Sabra, but you were born in the Ukraine. So just tell a little about your upbringing there and how you got to the land of Israel and what that journey was.
So first of all, I was born a broken baby. I was born 11.2 pounds, very large, and I have twins. They're both didn't get
Together?
Together to that. So when they pulled me out, I had. They broke me. I had more than 20 broken bones in my body, so nobody gave me a chance at the beginning. But eventually, after several treatments and a couple of months, the doctors fixed me. And together with my mom at the age of 9 months old, and she was basically 23 years old, young woman, and together alone we did Aliyah to Israel with no family, no language, nothing. And
what was the motivation for your mom at that time? There obviously wasn't a war in Ukraine.
The whole
like there was
family.
now.
I'll not talk about my biological father in that side. I have nothing to relate with that. But all the side from my mom's family, they always wanted to come to Israel, always want to do Aliyah. And basically, during the years, I hear more stories about it. And we did Aliyah on the year of '92, and they planned that already on 80, 89, 90.
So it was in the works.
Yeah, but the Soviet Union closed the borders, didn't let anyone to go out, so it was very tough. When we did that, they left everything behind.
And so when you did that, I'm interested in your mother's story for a moment. What was her Judaism in Ukraine before she went to Israel? Or was it sort of behind the wall that she didn't know anything really?
No, she did know, and Masoret, heritage. Everyone outside of Israel, they try to be connected, and they do the holidays, and so. But of course, it's Soviet Union, and it's like it reminds me the old stories of the Holocaust, and before that you couldn't spread your Judaism, you couldn't show that too much. You needed to blend in, sort of. So I think it was like a mix of things.
So you get to Israel, and let's quickly go into the judo piece. I just asked you earlier, when did you realize that you could be an Olympian? You said basically from early on. So what was the first time that you even learned about judo, and that was a thing that you thought could take you a little further than just an extracurricular activity after school?
So I grew up with my grandmother and grandfather. They came after us like 1.5 years after that. And my mom moved to New York. She worked over there, so she was flying back and forth. So my grandfather is my first partner. He took me to the first judo lesson at the age of 4. And since then till today, I'm doing this amazing sports. And it was a love from first sight. And except 2-3 times weekly that I train in the judo club, my grandfather trained me every single day. Tortured me sometimes. No, jokes aside, it really taught me the principle of self-discipline, and this is my superpower. So I discovered that at the age of 4, 5, 6, very young. And your question was when I discovered my talent. I think it was close to 12, 13 that I already became Israeli champion at that age, and I knew I want to take it to another level and to make it a professional career.
And so when did you start competing outside of Israel or outside of the Jewish community? Were there any either Arab, Israeli aspects that you were seeing other parts or other different communities through the world of sports?
So I started competing at the global stage at the age of 15, 16. And during the years, I had several encounters, such
That's
as
what we call it these days, encounters.
encounter.
Right?
Yeah, you know, as an athlete, I cheer for peace always. Doesn't matter for me where the athlete comes from. It's either Algeria or Tunis or Iran. You know, we're all athletes. We need that. We need to cheer for sports for equality. And for me, sports is the language that everyone speaks, everyone
Yes.
understand, and sports should unite people. Especially, you know, I grew up on Olympic values. There's nothing more holy for me than that, except the Torah. um, and one of the special encounters I had with a athlete from Iran. I won't say his name.
And where was this?
In training camp. Of course, in competition, they're not allowed to
Right.
come to show to the fight.
Where was the training camp physically? Which country?
In Europe,
In Europe. Got it.
yeah, I think in Paris or something. I can't remember the location. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's in Paris. We're friends with him, right? And I said, like, let's do a fight, let's do a sparring fight. And he said, okay, let's turn our jackets so nobody will see our names. Of course, everyone knows us, right? But everyone can picture that or film it, and then it can spread, and it can harm for him, maybe for me. So we didn't want that, and we turned our jackets off and to the other side, so nobody see our name, nobody see Israel, Iran, and then we just fight like regular athletes, and it was a beautiful moment for me.
Do you think one day that you'll be able to turn those jackets around so that everybody will see those jackets and they can identify you as athletes, as two different countries, but as you said, pursuing peace?
I always pursue peace. I really hope that one day it will be a non-issue thing, maybe in the utopic world. God bless.
Are there moments, though, that athletes on the competition stage have, in fact, walked out and said, no, you're from Israel, I will not spar with a Zionist?
Yeah, I had in the World Championships a guy from Egypt, which is a country that sort of in peace with Israel. Yeah, and I was prepared to fight, and it's a funny thing that sometimes the countries that are not allowed to participate with and to fight with Israeli on the global stage in the competitions, and from in the behind the scene they are friends with me.
Right.
But countries that are allowed, like Egypt, I feel the hate coming from their side, and eventually this guy didn't show up to the fight. He missed the weight.
The weigh-in.
The weigh-in, and eventually didn't happen. Yeah.
And so I want to talk.
It's a pity, you know. It's his loss
That's true.
as an athlete. So
I want to talk about the discipline of judo, which you mentioned, and your own personal narrative. I was looking at some articles and some news stories that you, in fact, call yourself, these are your words, that you were a bully in school, but you changed through judo. If you're okay sharing about what that looked like as a child and when that moment of transformation happened, that you now teach empathy to young children.
okay, so I'll share the story. Nothing I'm proud of course.
It was on YouTube. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm glad that you did, because it's a moment. It's a chance for me to share and to regret a little bit more. I do self-therapy. Yes, I do self-therapy through that. So as a young kid, I always wanted to be a rock star, you know, to be in front of in the front in every situation, basically. And sometimes it was on negative positions. So yeah, it is what it is. Again, nothing I'm proud of. I'm ashamed some of the things, and you know, it's a funny thing that Hashem put together. You know,
Connected the dots.
make the dots. Yeah, and during the years, I see some friends of mine from school back in the years, and today they cheer me, they hug me, and they say, we're so proud of you. And you know, I'm in that encounters, I remember some specific situation in school that I said, what did I think of myself, right? And yeah, you know, I got emotional now. Sorry.
That's okay. So I want to go to the Olympics because you've been in the Olympics before October 7th and this past year in Paris after October 7th. As an Israeli athlete, we'll talk about the flag in a moment, so don't bring that up yet. But before October 7th, were there any differences in what you saw at the Olympics as an Israeli athlete than post October 7th? And also, maybe you can put into context Munich, which still resonates in the lives of Israeli athletes that the Olympics really didn't acknowledge for over 50 years.
Yes. So first of all, now they do acknowledge,
Yes.
and yes, it's with a lot of help of Yael Arad and her new position as the president of the Israeli IOC and member of the World IOC. So she pushed and worked hard for that. And even in Tokyo, the whole global IOC, they did a 1 minute
Moment of silence.
moment of
Yep.
silence for Munich, and it was a beautiful moment. So before October 7, there were always issues with Israel, but nothing comparing to what I experienced in the last year.
Wow.
It was literally insane, and we're gonna talk about it more. But this Olympic was special
In Paris.
in Paris regards that, and also Tokyo Olympics was special because it was a COVID time.
Right.
So they talk about not delayed it, but not to do the Tokyo Olympics because the Japanese crowd they didn't want that, and everyone were scared about the COVID virus. So I live through special occasions all the time. I have nothing normal in my life.
And so let's talk about Paris because it's post October 7th. You have sort of Munich in the back of our minds. You have anti-Semitism on the rise, not just in America, but really in Europe. What was that experience? What I've heard, and I wasn't there, but Israel comes in and comes out. You go for your match and you leave. You don't really get to be part of the world community of athletes. What did that look like on a day-to-day basis? Were you able to wear the Magen David on your back? What did that look like?
So first of all, I took initiative every day since October 7 on social media, posted things about the Israeli story. I felt like this is my responsibility. This is my time to show up and not to be scared of to show who I am. And I lost followers. People started to send me threats, harassment, and there's a lot of pro Hamas organization that tried to collect sign and to ban me from the participation in the Olympic Games in Paris. And during that year I had some dangerous moment that I thought to myself, like, this is the opportunity for all this organization and for all the haters out there to hurt us, and Munich can literally be again. So there was fear, and I was the flag bearer. You want to talk about it now? Okay.
So let's actually talk about October 7th for a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the question that Dan Senor asked on his Call Me Back podcast to every guest. Where were you on October 7th? And take us through that moment as an Israeli.
Yeah, October 7th, we all were shocked about it. I was home. My twins were just a couple of months old. I took both of them. My daughter didn't born yet. I took both of them. We ran to the shelter. I almost fell. It was 6:30 a.m. And started to post videos on social media. And I saw a van riding on, I think it was Darot. It was the first video that exploded on social media, and I couldn't believe for what I see. And I sent it to my family. I said, something is happening. And my wife, she's a police officer, so she immediately saw the police van, and she said, no, this is from now. This is live. It's happening right now, and there is Hamas terrorists inside of the borders of Israel. And we were all shocked, and every hour that passed, we started to understand the amount of the casualties, and it was I was devastated, and couple of days I couldn't even train properly. And this moment, I think after 2-3 days, I understand that I must fight. I must to fight in my sector, like every day in trainings, to come with a lot of meaning, to understand that I have the chance to bring light. I have the chance to bring hope. I have the chance to bring, in the Olympic Games, to bring Olympic medal in the toughest times of Israel history.
And so was training affected? Because I've spoken to some other Israeli athletes who have participated both in Paris and also the Paralympic Games. And they said because of the war, based on family members, different responsibilities, that they couldn't actually train accurately because they had to defend Israel. Was your training affected leading up to Paris based on what was happening in Israel?
I think the training didn't affect because we were trained in Israel, but all the training camps outside of Israel we were banned to participate.
You were not allowed.
We were not allowed
From them to...
From them, exactly. I can tell you that in some of the competitions in Arab or Muslim countries, in Arab countries we were not allowed to participate, like Turkey, in also several countries, and in other Muslim countries we were we went there with a lot of Israeli special security forces. And we were surrounded. We were not allowed to go out from the hotel. It was only from, going from hotel to training sessions and to the competition. And every travel was a security issue, and was very hard to be prepared, to be focused, and to stay, motivated and sharp to my goals.
And so before you went to the Olympics, post October 7th, pre-Olympics, you started traveling the country and meeting young people. You went to Eilat. You went to Kiryat Shmona.
Wait, before that,
okay.
I want to share.
Please.
Sorry.
This is your floor.
I want to share that about the thing I said. The last competition before Paris Olympic Games was in Kazakhstan, a Muslim country, and I had very, very sad encounter over there with one of the athletes from the Russian team. And I still have friends around the globe, some of them from Muslim nations, and they're reasonable people, they're modern people, they understand the situation, nothing is black and white, right? But since October 7, I lost many of them, and I basically knew who are with me, who are against me, right? And I go down in the hotel to the breakfast in one of the days before competition, and I see this guy, so I approached him, and I wanted to shake his hand. And then he stopped, he looked at my hand, and then he looked straight to my eyes, and he said, "I don't shake hands with terrorists."
Wow.
And I was so ashamed of myself. I said, how could I not see that come? And eventually, I talked with in my self-talk, I said, this is exactly the moment. I need to understand that the best answer is to bring that Olympic medal for Israel.
I'm sorry, I don't have one in my pocket. I just have.
And this is the best answer out there to the world. That we're not.
That?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
It's heavy, right?
That's amazing. I said that this is a moment for a bracha, so let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Wow.
So this is the best answer to the world.
And the answer was after that occurred.
Yes, 3 months after.
3 months after. So standing on a medal platform in front of the world with the Israeli flag. Let's go back before you win the medal with the flag bearer. How are you chosen, and what did that feel like with people in the stands to carry Degel Yisrael into the Olympic Stadium in Paris?
So first of all, as a young athlete, I always looked at the opening ceremony in every Olympic Games, and I said, could it be me one day? Nice. It was like a dream coming true. And when the Israeli Olympic Committee chose me, and of course Yael Arad, I had a phone call from Yael Arad, and she said, like, we choose you. And I was like almost crying, really. And I said, this is one of the biggest honors I could get. And it was first time in history of the Olympic Games that it wasn't on the stadium. It wasn't
Oh,
on the
right.
Olympic
It
stadium.
was
It was
on
on the
the-
Seine River, and it was a security issue, right? Everything in open air, the buildings around, and everything. Anything can happen.
Uh-huh.
2 weeks before that, Donald Trump got shot in his ear. So my wife said, "Please don't go." She said, "Like, if they can't secure Donald Trump, who are you? How can they protect you, right?" And I said, nothing is more important than be there carrying the Israeli flag and in front of billions of people around the world. Again, in the toughest time of Israel history, it was a moment of so much meaning for myself, and I knew I'm doing the most important thing for my country.
And what was the reaction? Was it boos? Was it cheers? Was it both? And how did you feel from that reaction?
99% of that of people around us was cheering for us and hugging us, and positive vibes. And because it was on the Seine River, we saw all the boats on, like, it was a circle. We did a circle with the boat, and some of the nations had like a yacht, like the USA Team USA. It was insane.
It wasn't like a canoe?
No. But a special moment was when the Arab countries went across us, and some of them shouted boo for us.
Wow.
Yeah, and we would like, peace, guys. It's the Olympic Games. Nothing to be hateful, right? Yeah.
I do think, though, next time they should do like the kayak from Kfar Bloom in the Jordan River, and you can go with that. That's one of my favorite
That's a
boats
good
in
one.
Israel.
That's a good one.
So talk about, you went around the country, though, meeting young people, and you went to Kiryat Shmona, you went to Eilat, and then I believe you lectured at President Herzog's house, and that's where you met a family, and they said, meaning the people who lost their homes, lost everything, displaced, when they got to the president's house and met you, Peter Paltchik, Israeli judo champion, they said, it is all worth it because we have now met you. What did that mean to you, and how does that motivate you to do more?
Wow, that was very special for me because it was since I got back from Paris, everybody called me a hero, and I don't feel like a hero. I feel that the real heroes are the soldiers that are fighting in the borders, in all of the borders, and the people, the families, the hostages that's still fighting over there in Gaza and trying to survive, their families. This is the real heroes for me. And over there in the president's house, I had a special moment with one of the fathers that came with his 7 kids, and he's mefune from Kiryat Shmona. Like he escaped. Evacuated. Thank you.
Thank you for the Israeli here.
He evacuated from Kiryat Shmona to Eilat, and then they evacuated him back from Eilat. So he traveled with his family across Israel, and he traveled. He said, "I traveled more than 100 kilometers to see you, and it was all worth it." And he cried. I cried. It was a special moment for both of us, and it's worth it. It's my time to hug the people that they the most needed.
You probably know this, but just to verify the fact that even us thousands of miles away, right, when we heard that you were competing, that was the time that we turned on the TV. That was the competition that we showed our children. And now that you're here, it's really an amazing, amazing thing.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about 2 more questions, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A. Tell us about the connection to JNF and why you? Why now? Why here? I know the answer is always Russell, but why Russell?
Yeah, me and Russell, it's a relationship. It's a long-term
relationship. Has he sparred
relationship.
with you before? He sparred with. That's why he's on the scooter, right?
There is I cannot say no to a fight, never. But no. Jokes aside, Russell he's the man, and
yes,
he believed in me through all those years, and it was tough years for me. he knows me since I'm a young athlete, and I don't need to say that, but he is one of the special person I ever met, and it chose me to be to participate in the beginning of these events back in 2018.
Nice.
Yeah, so since then it's a relationship, and it's important for me, it's important for him, and we try to do that a lot, as much as we can. Of course, during the regular season, I have my own competitions, training camps. Basically, almost 6 months from the year, I'm outside of Israel, and I have a family now. It's harder, yeah. So, but it's important for me. I try to do that as much as I can.
And then the last question is about how you got to be an Olympic medalist, and that's a coach. And your coach is Oren Smadja, and reading about the loss of his son on October 7th, and basically said, don't come. And he said, no, I will be there. Maybe just tell us a little bit about Oren, what he went through on October 7th, and what that medal means, not just to you, but to him, the people of Israel, and all of us, brothers and sisters of Israel.
So, yeah, me and Oren, it's also, we knew each other. I know him since I'm 17 years old, and we grew up together, basically. Me and my friends, we are his first generation in the national team. So we did all the achievements together during the year, and he knows me sometimes better than I know myself. I'm joking that sometimes, not sometimes, usually I see him and my team more than I see my family, right? And months before the Olympic Games, he loses his son in the battle in Gaza, and I was devastated. But having said that, I knew that he's a hero. He's a real hero of life, and he would not give up even in these circumstances. And he just needed his approval from his wife, his 2 kids, and eventually when he came to the Olympic Games and I won the Olympic medal, I'm going down from the stage. I'm hugging him. I'm waving his tears from his eyes, and I said to him, "This is for Omer. This is for your son." And it was pure moment of, don't get emotional. I'm gonna cry too.
That's what sports is about. When we say sports and faith intersect, that is exactly why we do this. Yeah. And so on that note, I want to open it up to questions for Peter Paltchik, Israeli bronze Olympian, 2-time Olympic champ medalist in judo. Microphone for Peter.
Hello. I have 2 questions. So for those who serve in the IDF and they're training for the Olympics, how or do they get deferred from the Army, for their training? Like, how does that work?
So you need to, there is sort of a test before you go to serve in the IDF. If you're an Olympic athlete, if you're not still an Olympic athlete, basically, but you're participating in the national team, let's say judo. So if you're one of the best in the team, so there is a committee, and they need to approve your title as a sports. I don't know how to categorize that.
An athlete in the IDF.
Yeah, sports athlete in the IDF, and then the IDF approves you and allows you to keep training 2 times a day, and to keep doing whatever you need to do to serve your country in your way. And so that's what I did. I got this approved, and yet almost every day I served in the army for 2-3 hours, as much as I could. And I did my serve. It was one of the most toughest, like 2-3 years almost in my life, and it was really at the beginning. So you need to be really, really focused on your goals, and it was hard. It wasn't easy.
2 jobs.
Yes, like 2 jobs. But it's wearing the IDF uniform was so meaningful for me.
And are you training for the next Olympics?
That was my
Los
Angeles, 2028.
Los Angeles, yes, baby.
He's never been until next week. Yes. Okay. Who's next? Questions?
Any other questions?
Yeah, in the back.
I can't hear you. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe a mic will help. Yeah.
Hello, there was a lot of attention on the Israeli contingent out in Paris. What was the culture like as the team, seeing the media presence around you guys versus the other, countries?
Yeah. First of all, because everything I did on social media and the advocacy for Israel and all the encounters during this year until the Paris Olympics, I was high profile athlete, and because of that, I was one. People say that I was the most threatened athlete in the Olympic Games, and I had a special security from the French special forces. They traveled with me everywhere. I wasn't allowed to be out of the Olympic village, and inside the Olympic village, they also walked with me everywhere. They became my best friends. And even to go to training session, it was a security issue. I was not allowed to be on the athletes bus. I was on, I had my own private delegation, 2-3 vehicles of this special forces of the French imam. I always took one of the athletes with me to not feel alone. And after I won, I had also like the old podium were 4 athletes standing on the podium, and in the press conference after that, with the media of the global stage media, all the questions were pointed to me. It was very, very tough moment for me to I didn't want to apologize about nothing I did. So it was a tough, to go in between the drops. Very, very hard moment, but I managed that through, I think.
Go ahead.
Can judo help a petite woman fight off a terrorist?
Wait.
Sorry, I was like, can judo help like a petite woman fight off a terrorist?
Should we go in the corner of the Hilton Anatole after? Yeah, demonstrations, exactly.
Should I do demonstration?
No. Yes.
Where's Russell, right?
Yeah.
What did they give you with the medal? What was at the ceremony?
Okay.
What did they give you with the medal?
Okay. Yeah, it was a special a draw from one of the French artists. It's in all these Olympic Games was very special for the French team because like Louis Vuitton did the medal, like design the medal. Yeah, not such good work, right? They're kind of rusty.
Chagall's next.
Yes. And so it was painting of some well-known French.
Maybe you can talk
artist.
about judo in Israel because in the States, judo's not so popular. But
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But,
We'll work on that.
How did that become really a popular sport in Israel? Israel's become a leader in that sport. What is it because of self-defense? Is it because?
I think first of all, we're a nation of fighters, right? We have the fighter spirit, and through IDF and through a lot of special moments during the Israel history, and since the year of '92 when Yael Arad and Oren Smadja basically bring the first medals, Olympic medals to Israel, and they broke the Israel barrier in that aspect. And basically, every Olympic Games after that, we have more and more Olympic medals. And if I take all the amount of Olympic medals for Israel, most of them comes from the judo. So we have the judo heritage, and I'm happy to continue that heritage. I'm happy to to influence in so many aspects, and especially for kids to be the inspiration for them. And when I see young kids in the beginning of their journey, and the spark in their eyes, it says everything.
So you're going to be speaking to a couple hundred teenagers over the weekend, American teenagers who, for the first time in their lives, self-defense actually has become something that might even think about going on college campus, even in sometimes high schools. What's going to be your message to them about from your journey to what they're experiencing here?
First of all, from the encounters I had with these kind of things, we never bow, we never put our heads down in front of the haters, and we are fighters, as I tell you. And I worked on a special project in that aspect to help and to encourage and to give lessons and to give motivation and to give even like specific tips how to make I don't say engage, but how to to win this kind of situation in the campuses because you need to be very careful.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So.
And then last question, your foundation, what does it do and how can we help?
I established my foundation in the first day I came from Paris because I knew this
After?
After I came.
Oh, so really new.
Yeah, sorry.
Got it.
After I came from Paris, the first day I landed, I established my foundation because I knew that this is my time to give back. And the vision of the foundation is to help financially, to support financially the young and talented athletes that they have no support. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning of their journey, in the beginning of my journey, you need to sacrifice so much. You basically cannot afford yourself to work. You cannot afford yourself to even study something, like go to college or something like that. And I've been there. I done that, and I failed. I collapsed. I worked as in the supermarkets, and 2 times I trained kids weekly, and I was a night bouncer. I slept in my car in front of the judo hall.
Nobody would get in that far.
Right. So, but eventually I failed. I collapsed.
Right.
Yeah. Add to that 2 times a day training camps, training sessions, and I wasn't sleeping at all. Eventually I failed and collapsed, and only when I put away all the menial jobs and focused on my goal, on my, I dedicated myself. I devoted to the process. Only then I could able to win. So I don't want the young athletes to go the same path I did. So I try to help them.
So as Russell said earlier on the big screen, we are winning. We are winning because of people like Peter Paltchik, who literally won that medal for us, by you, but for us. Peter Paltchik, Olympian, Israeli
Thank
judo
you, guys.
champion. We are truly honored to have you here today.
Thank you so much, guys.
I want to thank both Rabbi Sherman and Peter for being here. Peter's life is the story of Zionism. As you heard, he was born behind the Iron Curtain. His family, his mother, dreamed of making Aliyah. They did it. He is now continuing that legacy, as you heard, through his foundation, to make Israel a better place. And that's what the World Zionist Village is all about, is enhancing Zionism, making sure the future of Zionism is there. So we ask you all to follow us on social media, tell your friends about it, and continue to stop by for our continuing conversations about Zionism, which will be just a taste of what will be going on at the village. And up next, we will have the chair of the Strategic Planning Committee of the World Zionist Village to talk to you about what is going on to plan for the World Zionist Village to occur. That'll be Marv Schlanger coming up next. Thank you all so much, and thank you both.